I've used Smartlead to generate results like this and this for my clients, and I'm also in the top 5% of all Smartlead users by getting 1,200 positive responses in the past year alone. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Smartlead for your business so that you can do the same to book more meetings and scale and grow your company. Let's get right into it. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. So, welcome to the full-on Smart Lead guide that I've made for you here today, so that you can use Smart Lead to grow your company heading into 2025. I just have three main things that we're going to go over. We're going to go over how to set up your emails. We're going to cover how to create campaigns, as well as the best settings for those campaigns, as well as how to use the master inbox so that you can reply to people and book them in your calendar. So I'm not going to go over all of the high-level cold email technical stuff. If you want to watch those types of videos like scripts or clay or how to do market research, all that, just go check out my previous videos on my channel. This is just more so an overview of Smart Lead and just how to use this sending platform so that you can use it to really optimize your campaigns and make the best use out of it for you or for your own team, right? So first things first, we're going to go over the email setup itself. I have it here on this other tab. And when you first log on to SmartLead, you'll probably be here on the main page. But we're going to first start with this email accounts page here. And that's really where these top three are really where you'll be when it comes to um, just using SmartLead. All these other extra stuff you might not use as much, but these top three are the three main tabs you're going to use on SmartLead. So when it comes to email accounts, right? When you click on email accounts, you'll have this huge list of all email accounts. I don't want to leak our client stuff, so I just have one of our dummy domains or one of our accounts that we use at our agency to send out emails from. But basically, when you have this not filtered out, you'll have this entire new list of all email accounts that you have with like the name, the email address. It'll even tell you what type of sending platform we're using. So, if, for example, if this is Outlook, it would be an Outlook. This is email. This is Gmail, obviously. So this is Gmail. If it's private SMTP, it would have another logo on there. And then, yeah, well, I mean, it already says right here. And then you have like your daily limit, how many you've sent today, or what's the max you can have, if the warm but's enabled or not, and the reputation of that account. So once you've set up all your email accounts on Google or on Outlook or on private SMTP here, to actually add those accounts into SmartLead is pretty simple. You're gonna go here, press Add Account, and if you have not set it up yet, let's say, you can actually set it up using SmartLead here, using this bottom tab, and SmartLead will actually set it up for you, which is a great tool for beginners. I recommend all of you do this if you're a beginner starting out, and if you don't want to go through the whole technical process of setting it all up. I recommend using SmartLead, and it's just right here. But if you have already set it up from your outside perspective, here's basically how you can here's how you can essentially set it up, right? You just press select here, and it'll ask you like, oh, okay, so do you want to use Gmail? Do you want to use Outlook? Zoho, I do not recommend, or a private SMTP. And essentially, it's pretty simple. You're just gonna follow this guide here. It has a bunch of stuff here where it goes to, hey, do this, do this, do this. SmartLead's made it super easy. It's not insanely technical. You just have to ask around, click on the guides, and you should be fine. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward and simple when it comes to adding them, especially now since SmartLead has added their own way of creating new email accounts. And yeah, that's pretty much how you add them. If you're pressing Outlook, same thing here. Just click on that and you just do this. Most of you will be either email or Gmail or Outlook, so just click on that and it'll tell you, hey, log to this page in, and click the user you want to connect and add it, right? Pretty simple, not too hard. If you have, let's say, a entire CSV of email, so for example, if you have, let's say, 20 email accounts and you have the email password and you have the Gmail addresses as a whole, you can actually upload them as a bulk email, and it'll go through the entire CSV file, adding every single account in, depending on where it's from. So you can also do that. That's a little more technical, but for most of you, I recommend just doing this, or just going down here and creating your primary inbox infrastructure, which I can actually walk you through. It's pretty simple. So you're just gonna click on this thing here, and then you're gonna want to click on what type of provider that you want, right? So if you're either going to use a Mailreef provider, you're going to use Infobox, or you're going to use Inbox Automate. As of right now, this is about New Year's time in 2025. Google is currently the best. Outlook is not the best right now, but it can always shift and change. So make sure you're staying on top of things. But for this example, I'm just going to go Google. You're going to click on Google provider, and they'll basically ask you, like, hey, put a domain in, right? You and this is a separate video for a different day, but you obviously don't want to use your main domain, because if you use your main domain, your emails will land in spam. So what you're going to do instead is actually use a dummy domain. So for example, if my domain is gamic.us, right? If my main domain is gamic.us, I'm going to use a domain that's similar to that, right? My company name is Gamic Media. I could do something like, apply Gamic Media. So then once you've clicked on, your prefixes or the domain that you want, just simply click it, and it'll tell you like how much per year it is, right? And then you're gonna click on save and next. And from here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna upload a profile picture for that email account, as well as your first name and last name. So we'll just do Aryan Ariel, and I guess I'm required to upload a picture. Give me 1 second. Okay, so once you've uploaded a picture and add your first and last name, you click on save and next, and it's gonna tell you, hey, like, where do you want to forward this domain to, right? And obviously my main domain is gamic.us, so we're going to send gamic.us. Forward your domain to wherever your main domain is. So like I said, my main domain is gamic.us. We're using applygamicmedia24.com. I would not recommend this domain, by the way, because it has numbers. But it once you have, well, actually numbers should not be too bad, but again, I wouldn't recommend this specific one. But once you got in here, just forward your main domain to forward this subdomain to wherever your main domain is. So for example, if it's Nike.com and you've bought apply.nike.com, obviously put Nike.com, right? So once you've done that, you're going to come down here and it'll tell you like, hey, how many inboxes do you want for these domains, right? So I recommend you either run 2 or 3. We run 2 at our agency, but I've also heard people run 3. So I would recommend you start at 2, and if it's going well, then do 3. But you just exit out these side email accounts here, and then just click out. Just press X, obviously, and then you can also, if you don't like the name of those emails, which shouldn't be that much of a deal, you should be able to just So you should be able to add your own name essentially, right? So it'll be like Aryan Ariel apply Gamic Media 24, Aryan apply Gamic Media 24. Then you press review order, and then you can essentially make a payment on Stripe just like that to SmartLead to essentially buy this domain and buy this email account. Again, I recommend this if you're a beginner. SmartLead makes it super simple for you to do this, and you don't have to go through the hassle of setting up all these other like MX providers, SMTP, and all this extra stuff. You just have it right here, and you can buy an account and have it warmed up and already built in for you. Super simple, right? Then what you're going to do is once you've bought those email accounts, it's going to now appear on here. I don't know how long exactly SmartLead takes. I believe it's up to 24 or 48 hours, or it might even be instant. But once you have bought those accounts or set it up doing the manual way, it'll appear here, and it'll tell you like, hey, what the name is, what the email account, the provider, daily limit, warm up enabled, all that, right? For you, it might not actually have warm up enabled. It might have like an insane sending limit, and the reputation might be 0. I'll show you how you can fix all that so that you can actually go ahead and start warming this up, right? So once you click on the email account, what you're gonna do is go to overview, and it'll come up with this page like this. You can't really change anything here. This just gives you like a brief summary of what your email account is doing. You can click on general, and then here, what you can do is you can add the amount of messages per day, the minimum time gap, a signature, all that good stuff, right? So what I recommend is putting it anywhere from 15 to 20 when you're initially starting. You can bump it up a little bit after about a few more weeks. But when you're first starting to send out emails from that specific account, start out like 15 to 20, and then make the minimum time gap about 7 minutes or so. If you have these settings, you can just copy these settings. If you have these types of settings, you should be totally fine. And then down here, you're going to want to put the signature of whoever it is. So for example, if you uploaded your own email account to SmartLead and you're the owner of your company, put like best Aryan, CEO of whoever company. If you put in like your sales rep, or if your sales reps are uploading these email accounts, you can put it best Aryan, head of sales at wherever, right? So just put your signature in, pretty simple here, and then down here it should have automatically populated this for you. If not, it's totally fine. Um, but well, I believe Smartly should have done this for you. But if not, just go through the setup guide here that Smartly has for you. And like I said, this doesn't matter too much, but I do believe it does increase. I don't know if it's a 20% improvement in deliverability from what we've seen, but it still does matter. I would recommend doing this guide here. But once you've done that, you're gonna click on warm up, and you can just copy these settings again, right? So essentially, when you upload these email accounts, you cannot immediately start sending out 20 email accounts, 30 email accounts, or 30 messages a day. If you do that, Google and Outlook will be like, okay, this guy is clearly a spammer. He just bought this email account. He's already sending out massive amounts of emails per day. We're gonna mark him as spam. You have to warm up your email accounts for 2 weeks, and warm up is exactly what it sounds like, warming up before you send it out, before you send out all these email accounts, right? So what you can do is actually send out warm up messages um, to Smartlead's warm up pool, where you and other people who are using Smartlead will send messages to each other, and it will automatically reply to each other by using their AI warm up pool, right? I don't know the full technical details here, but essentially just warm up your messages and warm up your email accounts before sending it out. And always, always, always keep the warm up on. I cannot stress this enough. I remember when I first started, I actually took off the warm up, and I ended up not performing as well for my email account. So always keep your warm up on. And yeah, this is kind of the settings that you can run here. 25 number warm up messages a day, daily ramp up. You could do 5, but I honestly recommend turning this off. And 20, you can range it between 20 to 25. Reply rate 40%. Enable auto adjust warming ratio. And then these words, I mean, these are not too much. It's not the most important things, but you can essentially, to identify a warm up message in your inbox. Every single warm up message will have these 2 words just like this spelled out for you. So this is just a good heads up to know that, okay, this is not a warm up message, or this is not a real email address, or this is not a real email that someone sent me. This is just a warm up message from Smartlead, right? So warm up your email accounts. It matters a lot. You can also go to management here, and you can add tags or add clients to see like, hey, which email account, or which even sales team, or which organization, department does this email account matter to. But for most of you, I'm sure this doesn't really matter as much. And then you can click on campaigns, and you can see all the campaigns that this specific email account is been on. This is for later on, once you actually create a campaign, and you can actually see it, right? All right, with all that said, that's how you do the warm-up process. If you want to do this in bulk, once you upload all your email accounts, you can just click here, like this left here, and you'll click on all the email accounts on that page. If you bought more than 30 or uploaded more than 30, you're gonna have to scroll down and then do it all. But once you've scrolled down and click select all, you can click on bulk update, and it pretty much has the same settings as the actual email account space, right? So that's how you set up the emails. That's how you kind of run through the emails. We can now get into email campaigns and creating the emails, right? So when you get on this page, again, it should be empty, but essentially it'll look something like this, where it has like, total number of emails sent, how many people replied, how many positive replies, how many bounced, and essentially to create your own campaign, you're gonna want to go here, create campaign, and essentially you're gonna upload a lead list that you got from Apollo, or that you bought from ZoomInfo, or Ocean, or wherever database that you've got your lead list from, right? And you're gonna upload that CSV file. I know I have a lot, but just click on this is just a sample, and essentially it'll be like, hey, like, okay, there's like all these columns on the CSV file. For example, look at this. I have like an email column, a name column, all these other extra columns, a job title maybe, or whatever else that you might have, and it'll be like, hey, like, can you map out what every single column means? So like, what is this? It says email. What is this? The email column? It says name. Is this the first name column? It says location. What is this, right? So this is a very, very good tool to have, a very, very good way to map out all the different variables. And this matters more when you start using tools like Clay, and you have all this custom AI stuff. But for now, for most of you that are just starting out maybe with cold email, you can just click on first name, email, and then for this specific example, I have like a location filter, so like what city they're in, and Smartlead already has a location filter. If let's say, for example, you uploaded a filter where it's not on here, what you can do is click on the custom field. So for example, there's no job title variable on here, so you just got to create custom field. And essentially, if you type in, let's say, column job title or column location, it will pop up as this row right here, right? So I'll kind of show you what I mean here. But you want to map out all your columns and click on save and next, and it'll take some time. Even with one one lead in the lead list, it takes some time. But just give it some time, and give me a second. I'll be right back. And then finally, once you have actually once you waited and it's actually uploaded, here's what it'll look like. It'll tell you like how many leads were uploaded, how many were like duplicate in other campaigns, how many had an existing count, how many were blocked, all that good stuff. Just click on skip and proceed, and then you can just write your scripts right here, right? So for scripts, again, I'm not gonna go too high level, too technical on this. This is something I have plenty of other videos on my channel if you need help with scripts. But basically, you can put like hey, and then you can put the abbreviation of first name, um, hyphen, and then you can be like, we can help you do blah blah blah. We can help you become the best. Let's say I think I have Kava's email if you know the restaurant Kava in this thread. So we'll say best fast food place in, and then you can basically use these two I believe it's these variables by just adding these two brackets here. And by adding these two brackets, you can have like all these extra stuff. Now, even if you might not have the phone number bracket, you might not have the company name bracket. These are just default that Smartlead has for you. But there's some other stuff that you can have where it's like location, right? If you had like, let's say, if you had the job title and you inputted it on your, let me open this up. If you inputted it on your CSV file as, let's say, job title, it'll actually pop up as job title, right? So for example, if it's like job title, you would have to put job and then space title, and then from here you can essentially just press you can press save and next. You can go on to the next campaign. You can add some other extra stuff here. But yeah, I'm not gonna go too in depth on the script writing process. There's a lot of different nuances that you can have here. But for now, let's just go stick with this. We can make you the best fast food place in here, right? Then once you've done that, once you've done with your actual script, you can press percent signature percent, and it'll basically put that signature that you put for your email account on here. And then from here, you can also add variants. So what variants are is, okay, one angle we did, we can help you become the best fast food place. The other angle, we could say we can help you become the best restaurant, right? Let's say. And you can just test out different stuff, A/B test out different stuff, and that's all restaurant wrong. And then you'll be able to just try out different things here. Another thing is you can also add subject lines. So for subject line, I recommend you just use something like first name, let's say first name comma thoughts, or like even quick question first name. That one is a little played out, but still for beginners it's not that bad for first name. And yeah, I for first name or for subject lines, I always try to invoke curiosity. I always include the person's first name or at least their company name. That way, people like hearing their first name. People love hearing, let's say if there's a founder or owner, they love hearing about their company because it's like their little baby. So they like hearing about their first name and they like hearing about their company, right? So you can also add follow up. So you could be like, hey, hey name, saw that you didn't get a chance to reply to my previous email. Wanted to see if blah blah blah, right? And you can just keep going, keep add, and even for this, you can add variants, right? You can add this variant, that variant, and here you can also change the subject line. It says leave the subject line here if you want to be the same. So if you want the subject line to be different, then obviously change this. If you don't, keep it the same, right? Then what you can do is go to setup here. So then once you're on this page, essentially what you're going to want to do here is you have three options, right? who's sending the email. It has it right here. Who's sending the email accounts, when you're going to schedule the campaign, and the campaign settings. So I'll walk you step by step on how to do all of this. And essentially here you'll have all of your email accounts. I've just put an R in just to not leak my clients' email accounts here. But basically, you'll have all your email accounts here, and you can see here, you can click on how many email accounts you want associated to a certain campaign. So once you don't have to go all the way down, all that. You can just click right here, click on select all, and however many you have, you'll just click on apply selection. So for me, I have 121, so I'll click on apply selection, right? Then you can also, if you're like, okay, this email account's disconnected. Why is it disconnected? Let's click on it in a new tab and then see what's wrong with it. What's the, what's wrong with this account? And you can go fix that there. You can also filter out by like disconnected accounts. So if I do this, that email account here, it won't be there. Oh, it only sends that one. So you can you can not include that one. But basically, you can use these filter settings to be like, okay, I only want email accounts that have active warm up or are in this tag or are in one of our clients. And essentially, you can also do by warm up. So if you only want email accounts that have over 95 score in warm up or 98 score in warm up, you can do it like that. Press apply, and it will pop up here, right? So pretty simple. You just click on the email accounts for you who, if you just started, it should just be all of these. It should be fine. But later on down the line, when you get more and more in depth into SmartLead, or when you start sending out email accounts and some email accounts start to get burnt, this becomes more and more important, because obviously, if you don't want to send from an email address that has 75% warm up score to a fresh lead who could turn into a client or a customer, right? So that's the email accounts. Then for scheduling, you can essentially have it so it schedules out to where you are sending on certain dates, on certain times, right? So time zone, depending on your lead list in the U.S., there's obviously 4 time zones. So depending on your lead list, you want to not send. For example, if you're sending out to, let's say, companies that are in California, and you're sending them out on 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. Eastern time, that's going to be like 6 a.m. It's going to be like 6 a.m. Pacific time in California. So obviously you don't want to send out emails at 6 a.m. You prefer that you send them out whenever they're in office and whenever they're situated, right? So you want to filter this out by whatever time you're sending out. So you can see here, Los Angeles, if I'm sending out to California companies or anything in the Pacific Coast, you can go by Los Angeles. So for this, just type in what major city or what major city that your time zone is in, and it should be pretty straightforward. So for example, I'm in Dallas, but the major city in Central Time is Chicago. So we're going to put Chicago, and it comes up as that. If you're in LA, pick LA. If you're in New York, if you're on the East Coast, pick New York. If you're on West Coast, pick LA, right? Pretty simple. And then for your dates that you're going to send out, you can have these on, by default, it's on Monday through Friday. But if, let's say, you're targeting small businesses and they're open on Saturdays and Sundays, you can also do Saturdays and Sundays. I do recommend that you have at least one day off and just not send out one of those days. That way your email accounts are warming up. But it's all up to you on how you want to do this. Then for your time period, again, you want to make it so wherever your leads are, you are automatically adjusting to their time zone. For most of you, you'll probably have a broad campaign. So what I recommend you do is do it like 10:30 Central Time. That way, at minimum, it's like 8:30 a.m. Californian time or Pacific Coast time. So that way, it's not too bad. And then I suggest you do until 1700. And then for this, you're gonna want to send out how many emails will be sent every minute, right? So I recommend you do this for like 7. You can even do 6, but 6 is a little too much. But I recommend 7. It's not too bad. And then for here, if you want to plan out a specific campaign date, you can also have that in place. So right now, if I'm launching campaigns, which I am right now, I can have it launching on the 2nd of January, which is a pretty good launch date. Then it's going to tell you how many number of leads you reach per day. I recommend you put this at like 1,000. Depending on how many campaigns you have, you can lower this, but I recommend if you're only doing one campaign, just put like 1,000. It's not too bad. And then just press save. Then from here, you're going to go to campaign settings, and then this is a very important part. And I suggest you follow this and watch every step by step, right? Obviously, first thing here is campaign name. You can just name it whatever you want. I'm gonna name it test, and then it's gonna say stop sending messages when your lead replies to message. You don't really need to worry about all this. What I want you to worry about is come down here. You're gonna click on optimize email deliverability, and it'll make it so you don't track email opens or clicks. If you track open rate in cold emails, your emails will actually land in spam because you every time you track the open rate, you're sending an email that has a pixel in it. It has a link in it, right? So even by tracking open rate, you're actually hurting your deliverability, thus lowering your open rate. So if you're tracking open rate and you're sending like 60%, if it's like 60% open rate, you, in reality it could be higher, like 65 or even 70, right? But overall, just don't track it. It just click boosted deliverability and be fine. I also recommend you do this at 100% new leads. Most of the time, all your positive responses, if it's written correctly, will come from your first or second, first email or your second email, right? So your first email or the second follow up. So I recommend you do 100% new leads. You can try it at 50, but I don't really recommend 100%. I recommend you do 100% new leads, right? Then from here, go down to enhanced email sending and deliverability, and this is getting more and more important, but basically this is ESP matching. So at the beginning of the video, I told you, Outlook is having a moment right now, and going into 2025, and it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. Not just with Outlook, but with all email sending providers. So it's better if you send Google to Google, Outlook to Outlook, and whatever it may be. So just have this enabled, and you'll be fine. And then what you can also do is click on this intelligent AI categorization, and then click on that, and you're going to click on all of this, from do not contact all the way down to not interested, right? So what this will do is when you send out emails, automatically when you get emails back, you will get a tag on, oh, this is an interested response, or this is not interested response, this is a meeting request, this is an information request, whatever it may be, right? I believe smartlead uses GPT to do all of this, so it's pretty accurate. I would say for the most part, I would say 95% accurate, and I recommend you have this on. And you can also do for out of office responses. You can click on this third one here. It says automatically restart AI categorized out of office when the lead returns. Basically, what this will do is every time you send an email and it's marked as out of office response, it'll take a look at the email, and in the email when you get out of office response, it'll say something like, hey, I'll be back on January 3rd, or hey, I'll be back on February 14th, whatever it may be. And then what smartlead will do here is it'll look at that date and then only send to that email address after that date has passed. So it's a very cool tool. And then that's pretty much it for this side. Just make sure you have enhanced email sending and deliverability on. Make sure you have 100. Make sure you optimize email deliverability. Prioritize sending pattern to 100%, and then have this AI lead categorization on. Click on Save General Settings, and then click on. Oh, it doesn't have a thing here. Hold up. Click on. Once you've selected your email accounts as well, click on Save and Next. See if it loads. And then finally, it'll take you to this page, and it'll basically have like a preview of what the tool is like. So here you can click on schedule before you launch the campaign. You can also send a test email to your email address. Or what you can do is go to ABC up here, and it'll tell you, like, how many words is this? What spam words does it have? Oh, fast is spam, but maybe I should replace it with something else. So this is very cool to do like a final check, make sure everything's running well, and make sure that you optimize everything before sending this out, right? It also tell you like what adverbs it is, what sentences is hard to read. So this is a very, very good tool to run it through before sending everything out. But once you've done everything, click schedule campaign, and you should be good to go. So then once you have launched your campaign, you will start to get responses, right? So it'll tell you, hey, you got this response, right? And it should have auto-categorized it. This one it didn't, so I just did it for you. It should have auto-categorized it right here, right? So for example, it'll say something like this. This is obviously Kava. This is a big brand. We don't want to send to this brand, but this is basically like a type of response you'll get. And essentially, what you can do here is reply to them. You can be like, okay, this person said this. I'm going to reply to them by saying this. So you can reply, be like, hey, blah, 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 blah. We do this, 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 and this, right? It's pretty simple. It's same as a master inbox. You can click on an upload file. You can have attachments in here. You can do whatever it may be. But essentially, you can just reply to the email and mark it as whatever, right? Also, if you want to change the marking, like I said, you can go up here and change it to whatever you want. It's pretty simple. Okay, this API card error, but let's say the AI gets it wrong, which sometimes it does. Like I said, 95% accurate. You can change it to anything that you want here. But ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much it when it comes to Smart Lead. I know this was a pretty long video, but I hope this guide helps you in starting your Smart Lead accounts and uploading your leads and uploading your email addresses and sending out your first email copy. So if you found this video valuable, please press like and subscribe. And if you are any type of B2B business or any type of B2B company that's making over $30,000 a month and you want to work with my agency to help you book more meetings, we're actually running an offer right now where we'll book your next 3 calls or next 3 demos absolutely for free. With all that said, I hope you found this valuable, and I'll speak to you on the next one. Peace out.